change management, deploy, rollbacks. Have you ever tried rollbacks in the Salesforce ecosystem? Not that easy, but we've actually solved the problem. Not that we would have made this mistake, ever, but you did a deploy and the profiles didn't go over properly. Profiles are different in that they overwrite certain data. It's not just metadata, so they overwrite. Now, how do you go back to that? You change the profile and now nobody can get access to the work order. We would never do that. But if we had had the tools, we wouldn't have done it. So you've got to keep the release control, you've got to deploy confidentially, you've got customer loyalty, you've got optimized costs, and that's why you're actually going to engage ForeFront. But let me get a little bit more about that. So what makes release management in the app space? Now, everybody knows that Salesforce is the platform on which ServiceMax sits on top. And you've got you can have Aptus, and you can have these other components that are sitting on top. The normal change sets that are used by Salesforce do metadata. For people who don't understand metadata, it's data about data. I love that term, data about data. And what it is telling you about the fields and the objects. Is the field a date field? Is it a text field? And what length is it? What objects do you have? And things of that nature. Metadata is handled semi-decently, I will say semi-decently, by change sets within Salesforce. But that's really not enough. You need to know the differences between the instances. So you've got your dev instance and your UAT instance. You've got to look at that. You don't know what to pull over. You've got to pull over the right pieces. So we have a couple of methodologies and tools out there that do snapshots of each. And we use an EDL tool, not ETL. Extract, transform, and load. We do an EDL tool. Extract, differentiate, find what it is, and automatically create new change sets for you. If you've done, and I've actually done it, I've suffered through it, I know what our guys and girls have to suffer through. You do a change set, and it tells you, oops, you missed 3 pieces. Okay, so you go back and you go, okay, I missed 3 pieces, and now you bring over those next 3 pieces. And now that you're validating that, it comes back and says, oh, you missed 7 more pieces. So you do that, and you think you're going to have it. So you go through this iterative hell, which can take hours and hours and hours to find it. We find it all ahead of time. It's really pretty cool. We've got source control. That's extremely important. Access control and compliance, who did what to whom. Believe it or not, because you can often have even different partners working on different components and even your own people, and they're saying, well, I didn't know that I was going to break everything. So they've got your BAs doing something in some instance, and they made it a required field, and other test cases that are happening. It's pretty cool. So you can auto-gen the executables and auto-run the tests. So every night, sometimes we do a lot of sprints with Agile. So you've got Agile, you've got user stories, grooming, you've got building, you've got demoing, you've got testing, and you've got deploy, usually in a 3-week span. So you're doing releases all the time. It's running those regression tests automatically within these pieces is very important. So what's the outcome of using Conductor, which is our term for orchestrating things and making things sound like good music, even though they're disparate, is improved quality of code. It's the teams themselves can understand you, teach them how to collaborate, because now you can say, guys, this is an opportunity to learn. It's not about pointing fingers, it's about making your lives better, because your clients are going to be happy that you've done it. You're decreasing project team stress. Believe it or not, when we were doing, there was a client of ours that we were actually doing deploys every night. Every single night we were doing deploys. That meant we had somebody who was sitting there after hours, because we finished at 5 or 8 o'clock PST, and sometimes 5 o'clock on the other side and something else. So they're working after hours, so they're stressed out. And then they do it, and then the next morning, our VAs and our quality group will come in and start testing that whole process. They got pretty stressed out. It's important to keep our talent really engaged and not burn them out. Give them the right tools to do so. This is really not a great way to do it manually. So we also have lower risk. You know, you're not doing something that you don't know what you're doing. It's a methodology and a tool and an automation that's really going to lead to not only higher customer satisfaction on your client side, but internal satisfaction. You cannot burn out your people. It's very important that you keep an eye on this. And then you increase Net Promoter Score.